Hi everyone. As you know, Pocket Option has a technical tool available to us. These are parallel levels. You see, I have them set up right now, and they show us certain levels, but only parallel ones, not like these. But the parallel ones show the levels. So when the price approaches this value that we set ourselves, for example, here we have Val, 1 level, 2 levels, 3, 4, 5, and the price just bounced off these levels. Here's our 6th example. I'm opening a trade down from it. So as I said earlier, these are kind of levels, but it's actually pretty hard to find them. And today I'm going to show you an indicator that will replace these parallel levels. It's much more convenient and practical. Let me not keep you waiting. Let's get into the video. The indicator we're talking about is called the Keltner channel. This is how they look today. They look different from their original appearance. Originally, they look like this, just a blue zone. Also, as you can see, my settings widen the Keltner channels. And you can find the settings for the Keltner channel in my Telegram channel. The link is in the description. There you'll find the settings for the Keltner channel, as well as instructions on how to make it look just like mine. Subscribe, the link is in the description. You'll find a lot of useful stuff there, not just the Keltner channel settings. So as you can see, now they look completely different with my settings and my appearance. Let's delete how they originally looked, and let's even wait a bit and open a trade using the Keltner channel, because soon we'll have a signal for the 3rd trade to go up. Let's wait a little. And now we have a signal appearing on the chart. So we'll open a trade to go up. And let's actually take a moment to talk about how the Keltner channels work in this context. But if you've worked with Bollinger Bands before, the principle here is exactly the same as what you already know. Here we have the oversold zone. Here is the overbought zone and the middle line. So from the oversold zone, we open a trade to go up. So the market is currently oversold, and we open a trade to go up from the oversold zone. The same goes for the overbought zone. When the market enters the overbought zone, we open a trade to go down from there. It's all absolutely simple and easy here. We also have our middle line, but let's talk about that later, after I explain the basics of trading with the Keltner channel. While I was explaining, the trade closed successfully, in profit. Also, let's talk about the market settings. The market settings, I would say, are standard. Japanese candlesticks, 1 minute time frame. You can use the 30-second time frame. You'll have more entry points, but they'll be less precise, so to speak. With 1 minute candles, you have fewer entry points, but they're more reliable. With 30 seconds. They're less reliable, but there are a lot more of them. Also, the trade duration is 1 minute. But I'll say this, you can also use 2 or 3 minutes, if you're working on a scalp, for example. So, for instance, our trade is for an upward movement. Here we opened a trade for an upward move. You could easily have opened a trade here for 1 or 2 minutes. And we could have even opened a trade for 3 minutes for an upward move. So to repeat, when bouncing off the overbought or oversold zone from the upper or lower line, we open a trade for 1 to 3 minutes. This is specifically for a bounce. Next, I'll explain how to trade from the middle line. And I'll explain for how long you should open trades from the middle line. Alright, let's open a trade from the middle line now. As you can see, right now it's near the middle line. Let's open an upward trade from it. And here's how to trade from the middle line in general. Look, when we have any kind of movement or even a sideways trend. So as you can see, right now it's in a small sideways range. And it keeps steadily bouncing off the overbought zone and then heading back down toward the middle line. This pattern continues to repeat itself. So right now it's in a sideways trend. And we only trade within the sideways range using the middle line. That is, we trade on the bounce from the middle line. As you can see, I opened my trade on the bounce from the middle line. And now I'll successfully close my trade in profit. The trade closes successfully in profit. We can also work, there's an example not far from here, with an upward or downward movement. As you can see, we have a downward movement here, quite a long one, and the price was also bouncing from the lower line to the middle line. You see, it kept bouncing here, bouncing and bouncing, and then it finally broke through to the upper line. When you see a fairly long and sustained downward or upward movement, in this particular case a downward one, and you notice the price bouncing repeatedly like this, you can confidently open trades from the middle line. As you can see, we had one moment, two moments, even three or four clear opportunities to open a trade for a drop from the middle line, taking advantage of each setup as it appeared. As I mentioned in the first trade, we trade from the middle line for 1 minute. Why exactly for 1 minute? Why not for 3 minutes, you might ask? Well, it's actually very simple, because the price moves quite actively, and in just 2 to 3 minutes, the price can easily just return to your entry point, and you'll end up closing at best at break even, or more likely at a loss. That's why I strongly recommend you use 1-minute trades from the middle line. I hope you now understand how to trade from the middle line and how to use the Keltner channel strategy. So let's just get started with our trading. And at the same time, I'll keep explaining things to you as we go. And I'll also explain why I entered certain trades in each case. So here we have another entry point. We open a trade here for an upward move. I also decided to open a 3-minute trade to immediately prove my point to you in the video. And let's discuss in detail why I decided to open an upward trade right here at this point. As you can see, we had a pretty long downward movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Pretty big red candles. So there was a very long downward movement, and it entered the oversold zone, meaning it broke through the lower line of the Keltner channel. And right after this breakout, I opened an upward trade. Plus, as you can see, we got a very large green candle. So this is a clear and important signal that the market is likely ready to stop the current price movement and begin an upward movement or trend. Also, let's take a moment to talk about the one specific situation when you really truly shouldn't trade with the Keltner channel. Here, in this example, we have that very situation. As you can see, it actually happened not just once, but twice here. See, the price was simply hovering near the middle line, not moving up or down, just staying very close to the middle line, without any significant movement in either direction. We should skip these currency pairs. Why? Because there's no signal here at all. Yes, you could try to trade on a bounce from the line, but I'll tell you that's a really bad idea. Because if you see this kind of price movement, there won't be any bounce from the middle line, and the price will just keep hovering around the middle line of the Keltner channel. And you'll just end up taking a loss. So as I mentioned earlier, these are the kinds of situations we're better off skipping. And our trade closed successfully in profit. As you can see, the trade almost closed at a loss for us. Maybe even at break even, but that's not a big deal. I just entered the trade a little bit too early. But as you can see, my analysis was very accurate. And now we're seeing some real movement. As you can see, there's a big green candle forming right now. So here's another entry point for us. Let's open another trade for an upward move as well. The situation is very similar to the previous one. That is, you can see there was a long downward movement, and the price broke through the lower Keltner band, as you can see. And right now, a green candle is forming, which should soon start moving upward. Let's just watch this trade. And the trade closed successfully for us. Plus, as I mentioned in my analysis, the green candle started to appear. So this signals that the market is ready to start an upward movement. And now let me open the last trade for today, and we'll start wrapping up. So here's our last trade for today. We'll open it for an upward move as well, and we can see that it has reached the lower Keltner channel here. So I just opened a trade for a balance off the lower Keltner channel. So basically the essence of the strategy is to trade on the bounce from the lower or upper line of the Keltner channel. Also guys, don't forget about our Telegram channel. The link is in the description. Right now, we're running New Year's events where you can grab gifts for yourself and your loved ones, treat yourself or your friends, and also make some money. Just a reminder, this is where you'll find the settings for the Keltner channel. If you want to try out this strategy, go to the description under the video and look for the Keltner channel settings there, and our trade closes successfully. And with that, I'm gonna wrap things up. As you saw at the beginning of the video, I had $1,000. Now I have $5,500. So we made $4,500 using just one indicator. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you try out this strategy, be sure to let me know in the comments how it worked for you, how much you were able to earn, and what your profit or loss was. Also, don't forget about my Telegram channel. The link will be in the description under the video. You'll also find the settings for the Keltner channel there. That's all for now. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye everyone.